Hi, Kasper. Now, we've been busy with a sermon series talking about hope, and specifically living with hope, and having that understanding of this hope that we have in our relationship with God. Now, of course, it's easy to have hope when life is fantastic, but to have hope when things are tough, when things are difficult, hope in the Dragonlands. And so we've been in touch with one another and just got this really encouraging email from you. It was just such a joy just to read it. I'll explain a little bit more about it, but first just introduce yourselves, maybe just tell me, who you are and give us a little bit of background information.
Okay, I'm Kasper. I'm the father of a family of 4. My wife is Laila and I have 2 sons. One is Moos, he's 5 years old, almost 5 years old. And the other one is Atlas, and he's 5 months old, just born. And we've been traveling for a while now. 7 years ago we started traveling with a camper, a 4x4 camper. And before also we traveled already with backpack and motorcycle, but that was really maybe some kind of life change. And we liked it so much that we kept on doing it. I think now altogether we lived 4.5 years or 5 years in that car. Also sometimes in Holland in the car, but most of the time on the road. First I went to Africa with Laila alone, and then our first son was born, and we went a long time to South America. And now we are back traveling Europe and the edges of Europe, and we think as long as everybody feels good, we will continue to do it for a while. Yeah.
So that's really, really exciting for me. I think so you as a family have said, listen, we're going to just travel the world. We're going to get in our van and we're going to travel the world. So you guys spend a couple of years in South America. And then, of course, this whole COVID situation changed everything, turned world upside down a little bit for you guys as well. You're back in the Netherlands now for a while, but you've got some more travels lined up in 2 or so weeks. You guys are leaving again and hitting the road again. Now what's really interesting about Kasper and his family and their story is that you guys are both artists, you and your wife. And this is how our email exchange started. You sent me a photo of this beautiful painting that you and your wife did together. And you felt that it really connected with and is inspired by and connects with the kind of stuff we're talking about in the sermon series, Hope in the Dragonlands. Tell us a little bit about this painting, a bit of the history, a bit of the meaning of it. And I know that we're going to put the painting up for people so they can see what we're talking about. But tell me a little bit, Kasper, about what this painting is about, what it means to you and to Laila, specifically in the context of hope and seasons of orientation and disorientation, and how we live in these different seasons of life, and our faith in God, and how that allows us to kind of sail the ship, in the Dragonlands. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay. I think it to say first, it was one painting that we made in South America. And most of the time we take a lot of time to make it, because we're driving and sometimes the thing comes out and we make it together. So first always we think the idea, the message you want to tell. And this was the last we made in South America, the 4th. And I think this journey, it really it touched us. We learned something about life, and that we wanted to share with people, because that's also why we paint. We want people to look at it, and this traveling, that's why I emailed you also, and I told you a little about. Maybe you can say it's sometimes the Dragonlands, because we are often alone. We travel in the nature. We go 2 weeks in the desert, and we take food and water, and you feel a little bit alone. And night we are sleeping under the stars, and I go out of the car and we are alone. yeah, and sometimes things happen, don't work out the way you thought, or or we need guidance. Do we go left or do we go right? What's the good thing to do? And for me, while traveling, I really discovered something that because I'm so vulnerable, I every time we feel we get help, we feel connected with something bigger than ourselves, with God, and I think because in the end of the journey it was such a strong feeling that we can really trust it. And some bad things happened also in the trip, some bad luck, and but it always turned around. Good things come from it, and.
So this whole idea that I was talking about last week, this idea about in this disorientation, it often brings transformation.
Yeah, and it really taught me a lot about. I'm still also on a journey to get to know God and the relationship that you can have. But I come from this more secure life in Holland, and I see it a lot around me that. Especially maybe when people get children, they choose a lot for security, and they tell each other also, this is the good thing to do. And I like to tell also the other story, because for me it works out really good that it's scary sometimes to say, okay, let's do it, because and people sometimes say, don't go to South America because there's this and that, or don't go to Africa. But for us it always works out. We get help when we need it. There's always beautiful people that come in our path, and I feel alone, and the next day I meet somebody that tells exactly the thing I need to hear. Or my wife was pregnant now the last time in Morocco, and felt sometimes we met the next day. How do you say?
A midwife?
A midwife that talked to her and gave her a lot of encouragement. Stuff like that happen. We go down also, but we go up again also.
Into the dip, disorientation, back out of the dip, reorientation. Yeah. But so you guys have really, in your travels around the world, have discovered, if I'm hearing you, Kasper, have discovered the value of people who say, God, I've received hope from you by putting my trust in you, but I want to be that hope to others. Yeah. I want to embody that hope. And I think that's one of the big ways that God brings hope into our lives, is through other people.
Yeah. No, of course, I want to share that, and I'm very grateful also that I can live this life, and and I feel like sharing that, and maybe that was the reason that I was in the last service I was here at Crossroads, because that's also what I sent you. For me, Crossroads is a place in Holland where I can get to hear about this this way of living, not the way of life that where you look in your wallet and look on your watch and calculate everything and look at the statistics, but also just go and trust that things will come. And
get out of the boat.
Yeah, and that was because that's what the name of the painting was. It was Fear Not.
Okay.
Because we already made the painting, but there was not a name yet.
Okay.
And at that time, I visited also Crossroads, and the series about get out of the boat and walk on water. It touched me. For me, it was a very nice encouragement to go on and.
Fear Not. Okay, I didn't know that was the title of the painting.
Yeah, that's the title.
Yeah, that's a beautiful title, and I think so apt for this series, Hope in the Dragonlands. Fear not, because God's with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then things can happen if you go, and that's why the painting we try to now we're talking about it, but for me also a way to express myself is to put it into a picture, and I hope it shows that how we sail without a rudder, that we go with the wind of that is blown into our sails of God and of
Absolutely, and I love that image of the boat, because for me, again, at the heart of this message of hope in the Dragonlands, I believe as a follower of Jesus Christ is this idea that in Jesus I've got navigation, I've got a compass, I've got a true north. So when my boat, my life is in these uncertain waters, He's my compass, and I can navigate my life and sail my ship according to Him and His will for my life. And that's why I love that painting so much.
Thank you.
Kasper, thank you for sharing this painting with us. I pray that God will continue to just reveal Himself to you, continue to just show Himself to you as you and your family continue on your journey and on your travels. May you know absolutely Jesus as your true north, as you sail the ship, in unknown waters. May you know Him to be your true north, and may you always put your hope in Him.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.